Do you love the enchanting whimsy of Disney movies? And the cute fantasy films of Studio Ghibli? Well, let me introduce you to my fantastic friend SORA Star. She's an incredibly talented and gifted Scottish artist who specialises in unique Disney fan art and renditions of folklore creatures. If what you're seeing on screen right now is to your fancy, then please consider following her on Instagram, Facebook and Twitter. You can also purchase prints of her art or custom commissions from her coffee shop. Whatever you order from her coffee will be packaged with love and care. Plus, everything is shipped for free worldwide. It's very important for us to support brilliant independent artists like SORA. Thank you, folks. Howdy folks, Jambareeqi here. Gravity Falls is a Disney supernatural comedy cartoon created by the talented Alex Hirsch. In this series, twins Dipper and Mabel spend the summer in the quirky Oregon town of Gravity Falls, while they stay with their eccentric great uncle Stan in his tourist attraction shack. When Dipper finds a mysterious journal in the ground, he discovers the strange secrets of Gravity Falls and the dangers hiding in every corner. Dipper, Mabel, plucky teenager Wendy, and cheery handyman Seuss team up to find out who the author of this journal is, all while dealing with a different weird creature every episode. Gravity Falls is maybe my favourite animated TV show ever. Its world building is imaginatively expansive, the mystery storytelling is genius, and every episode is packed with loads of laugh out loud hilarious jokes.
You know, studies show that keeping a ladder inside the house is more dangerous than a loaded gun. That's why I own 10 guns. In case some maniac tries to sneak in a ladder.
Even though the show is often light-hearted, wholesome and goofy, it's not without its dark side, because this is still a cartoon about creepy conspiracies and menacing monsters. So to mark the 10-year anniversary of this show, I'm going to be counting down my choices for the top 5 darkest Gravity Falls episodes. The episodes that really pushed the boundaries for Disney brand kids entertainment and took daring risks in the name of children's horror. Let's begin. Summerween. Dipper and Mabel have made Halloween into a twin tradition, and when they find out that Gravity Falls celebrates Halloween in the summer too, they embrace an opportunity for free candy. But Dipper feels worried that he's too old for dressing up and would prefer to go to a party for older kids. Dipper then ends up insulting the Summerween trickster, the boogeyman of this local festival, who says that the kids must collect 500 pieces of candy before the last jack-o'-melon is blown out. Even though this episode is set during the summer, it does a great job at creating a spooky Halloween atmosphere. Sure, there's melons instead of pumpkins, and there's no autumn leaves falling, but the Summerween spirit is just as charmingly spooky as Halloween's. The heart of the episode is our characters' relationship with Halloween as they grow older. While Mabel is happy to keep up trick-or-treating traditions, Dipper longs to be treated like a big boy. This causes a fallout between the twins, but we can see why Mabel feels hurt, because we know how much Halloween means to their sibling bond.
I felt like I was getting a little too old to go trick-or-treating.
That's exactly why we need to go trick-or-treating, Dipper. We're getting older. There's not that many Halloweens left. I guess I didn't realize it was already our last one.
At the same time, Grunkle Stan is having a hard time scaring trick-or-treaters, as modern technology's advances make him contemplate that he's behind the times, showing that even old people want to keep their Halloween spirit alive.
What happened to you, Stan Pines? What happened?
So what makes this one of the darkest Gravity Falls episodes? Well, it's because of the Summerween trickster himself. This nightmarish demon is the mutated amalgamation of abandoned bad candy that kids hate, who sets out to seek revenge on the children who didn't enjoy eating them. The trickster is one of the more sinister forces that Mabel and Dipper face in the show, because he leans far more to being genuinely threatening than silly. His very on-screen presence is quite spine-chilling for a kid's cartoon monster.
I've seen better. Tick-tock.
And he becomes even more physically imposing when he shapes into a no-face-like creature towards the finale. Sure, he becomes a little less creepy once we learn his sympathetic backstory, but that's why I rank this episode lower than the others. Society of the Blind Eye. When Dipper concludes that town kook McGucket has connections to the author, everyone goes to ask the old man for the truth. But McGucket can't remember anything. However, a page detailing the Blind Eye Society triggers a trauma for him, and our heroes investigate the origins of this secret society. We discover an underground cult of robed men who use a brain-wiping machine to clear townspeople's memories of Gravity Falls supernatural encounters. One such victim of this society was McGucket, whose memories are being kept in the cult's lair. This is a majorly important episode in the Gravity Falls saga, because it pushed the story further than ever. McGucket has always been a comic relief stereotype in this cartoon, but this episode reveals that he has way more to do with the show's long-running mystery plot than we thought. We also get to explore our characters' feelings about memories, as Mabel laments over her failed summer romances, and even considers using the brain-wiping machine to help her forget them.
I just need to type summer romances into this thing and I won't feel bad about them anymore.
Whoa, hold up, Mabel. We don't even know what that thing does.
What makes this episode so dark is simply the very idea of a brainwashing cult existing in a kids show. These robed men might think that they have noble intentions, but the memory-wiping gun is actually causing severe mental damage to townspeople, and McGucket has become a shell of his former self.
Quit staring at me when I bathe!
I've also always found the society's leader, Blind Ivan, to be one of the creepiest villains in the show. We've never seen him before in the series, and we never learn anything about him.
We help ourselves forget things that trouble us. Everyone has something they'd rather forget.
When our heroes wipe the cult's memories of the society, Ivan's brain ends up being wiped totally clean, and Mabel has to create a new identity for him, which begs the question, if Ivan's memories are completely based in his cult, was he born and raised in it? Ugh, spooky. Last of all, there's something truly sad and dark about McGucket's memory file, as we learned that he was the one who invented the brain-wiping gun and founded the Blind Eye Society. This old man was so traumatized by Gravity Falls specters and creatures that he wiped his own brain into decaying oblivion.
I accidentally hit another car in town today. I feel terrible. Terrible. I've been forgetting words lately.
Luckily, McGucket sees this new information in a positive light, as he realizes that he can finally rebuild his life. In turn, Mabel learns the severe downside of living in denial, instead of being at peace with your bad memories.
So, Mabel, do you still want to erase those failed summer romances?
You know, no one likes having bad memories, but maybe it's better to remember the bad things and learn from them than to go all denial crazy trying to forget.
Into the bunker. In this episode, Dipper, Mabel, Wendy and Seuss find a tree in a forest that hides a secret underground bunker. Once Wendy and Dipper reach the bottom ground, they meet a disheveled old man who seems to be the author of the journal. However, we learn that this eccentric man is really a shapeshifter, and it can now use the journal to transform into any Gravity Falls monster it wants. As soon as we enter the bunker, there's this immediate sense of unnerving mystery and tension, from the threat of surprise booby traps, to little details that foreshadow the shapeshifter's looming presence.
Wait, guys. I think this can was opened recently.
But things get really intense once the shapeshifter drops his act. The stakes are raised to peak heights, as our characters go up against a monster who can tap into their nightmares, become whatever creature it desires, and use its ability to mirror people to its advantage.
Hit her with the axe! Don't listen to her, Dipper! She's the shapeshifter!
I don't know who's who!
This is an episode of Gravity Falls that goes hard on the horror too, and I don't say that lightly. I can honestly imagine more sensitive kids being frightened by some of these grotesque images.
You will never find the author. If you keep digging, you'll meet a fate worse than you can imagine. And this will be the last form you ever take!
Luckily, the show just lightened the load for kids by having a relatable and cute plot about Dipper finding the courage to confess his crush on Wendy. A plot that's not only neatly tied into the shapeshifter premise,
I never even got a chance to tell you. I'm like, in love with you, Wendy.
Dipper?
but also inspires a good message about the healthy benefits of confessing a crush.
Dipper, you should just tell her already. One way or another, you'll feel better afterwards.
Weirdmageddon Part 1. When Chaos God Bill Cipher breaks into the human world, he unleashes Weirdmageddon, a terrifying monster-filled apocalypse that warps reality. A lot of the Weirdmageddon episodes are good contenders for this list, but I feel like Part 1 is the darkest chapter of them all. This is when Bill Cipher's reign officially begins, and he brings this sudden feeling of hopelessness.
Name's Bill, but you can call me your new lord and master for all of eternity!
So many things happen in this episode to make Weirdmageddon's arrival truly soul-crushing. Ford, the revealed journal author and a science whiz who knows all things supernatural, has been turned to gold and all of his journals have been destroyed. The mayor of Gravity Falls has also been overpowered by Bill, plus the whole town has become a wasteland of insanity.
We're day 3 in this strange cataclysmic event, which some are calling Weirdmageddon, or the Odd Apocalypse. Weather today calls for black clouds, blood rain, and frequent showers of eyeball bats turning people into stone.
Not to mention the mystery twins have been split up, with Mabel now trapped in a bubble, which has been guarded by the malevolent Gideon and his band of violent prisoners.
My old pal Bill figured you might try to rescue Mabel. So he appointed me master of these wastelands and keeper of the bubble!
Any sense of comfort or security is gone, because Bill has dramatically lowered our hero's chances of winning and gained a huge, massive upper hand as a villain.
Surrender now or face my tantrum.
Oh no, a tantrum! Whatever will I do about that? How about this?
Some of the show's most evil monsters are introduced in this chapter too, each hellbound creature eager to eat up humans like fresh meals without any remorse.
So, you wanna eat him or something?
Oh, definitely, let's eat him!
Oh, and this is the episode that gives us this nightmare fuel as well. Luckily, as the episode goes on, Dipper starts to feel a greater sense of ambition as he finds his friends again and regains a sense of hope. But there's still this remaining feeling that this will be our hero's biggest challenge ever. Northwest Mansion Mystery. The wealthy Northwest is set to host a fancy party for the elite rich, but a ghost is haunting their mansion, so Dipper is called in to bust said ghost, with assistance from Pacifica Northwest. It turns out that this is a Category 10 lumberjack ghost. Dipper manages to capture the spectre in a silver mirror, but the ghost explains that the Northwest tricked the boy. Long ago, the lumberjack helped build the Northwest mansion in return for party invites, but when the time came, the Northwest denied the poor folk any entry. After the lumberjack was killed outside the party, he cursed the Northwest family, hence why he continues to annually haunt them. The lumberjack escapes the mirror to act out his revenge, and the curse won't be lifted until the Northwest opens the gate to the less privileged, but Pacifica's father refuses to comply. The lumberjack phantom himself is really threatening for a spooky cartoon ghost. His size is imposing, he carries a sharp axe, he can possess anything he wants, his haunting efforts can be dang creepy, and the fact that the journal has no advice for defeating Category 10 ghosts wildly intensifies things. Oh, and this is a ghost who can turn his victims into wooden statues, which totally fits the Phantom's backstory and makes for some surprisingly disturbing transformations.
Please, help me! Whoa, that is messed up!
But here's the thing, the lumberjack ghost isn't the main reason why I picked this episode for my number 1. There's an aspect of this episode that genuinely unnerves me, and it's not even anything paranormal. You see, every time Pacifica expresses her feelings to her parents, they ring a bell until she is passively silent. Before this episode, we thought that Pacifica was just a stereotypical rich mean girl, but we come to understand her behaviour better in this episode, and we suddenly realise that she's a victim of oppressive parenting.
Look, there's a silver mirror right there!
Wait, don't go in there! This room has my parents' favorite carpet pattern. They'll lose it if we track mud in there.
What I find the most disturbing is that we don't know how Pacifica's parents trained her to be quiet at the sound of a bell, or how bad things will get if she disobeys her parents too much. The episode leaves the answers to these concerning questions ambiguous, as we're left to ponder the darker details of Pacifica's controlling parents' abuse. This is why this is the darkest Gravity Falls episode to me. It's where things got the most real. So those are all my picks. Which would yours be? Let everyone know in the comments section below, and don't forget to click that like button. I've been Jambareeqi. Cheerio folks.